Commas at times act like traffic signals within a sentence. They cause us to slow down, emphasizing a particular feature and bringing about a slight change in our voices. This feature of commas is evident when used with introductory elements. A comma is used after such words as well, yes, no, and why when they begin a sentence. As interjections, they essentially have no grammatical relation to the rest of the sentence. Here are a few examples. Well, what is your response to that request? Yes, I am going to the picnic. No, you may not leave until you have finished your homework. Why, the explanation seems ridiculous. A participial phrase that begins a sentence also needs to be followed by a comma. A participle is a verb form that is used as an adjective. Participles come in three forms: present, past, and perfect, but I'll discuss them further in another video. Here are a few examples. Squirming with anxiety, the child sat in the dentist's chair. Frozen in the tundra, the mammoth skeleton required careful excavation. Having eaten the entire cake, Avery felt sick. If a prepositional phrase begins a sentence, a comma typically does not have to follow it. But there is an exception. If the single prepositional phrase is parenthetical, then the comma is used to avoid any confusion. Here are two examples. By the way, where is the kitten? On the contrary, I will be attending the induction ceremony. If a sentence begins with more than one prepositional phrase, however, then a comma is used to separate them from the rest of the sentence. Here are two examples. In the house down the road near the baseball field, investigators found the stolen merchandise. Over the stream and beyond the forest, Harriet ran to escape the bandits. An adverb clause that introduces a sentence is also followed by a comma. Remember that a clause requires a subject and a verb, and an adverb tells us how, when, where, to what extent, or under what condition. Here are two examples. When Rachel finished her 5th midterm exam, she felt a great sense of relief. As long as the temperature stays below 90 degrees, we will have baseball practice. Sometimes sentences contain words or phrases that interrupt them. These interrupters are set apart with commas. The first example of an interrupter is the appositive or the appositive phrase. An appositive is a noun, often with modifiers, that is set beside another noun or pronoun to identify or explain it further. Here are two examples. The student with the highest academic average, the valedictorian, will speak at the commencement ceremony. Commas, the most commonly used piece of punctuation, often cause trouble for young writers. And a positive is that is so closely related to the noun it restates is called a restrictive appositive. This type of appositive does not require a comma. Here are two examples. The poem Mending Wall is contained in Robert Frost's second book of poetry. My cousin Al bought a summer home in Maryland. The restrictive appositives in these sentences are underlined. The second example of an interrupter is direct address. Direct address may appear anywhere within a sentence. Here are a few examples. Louis, please feed the cat and take out the trash. Do you think, Mrs. Phillips, that we can postpone the calculus test until Monday? Don't confuse my courtesy with agreement, Michael. Some expressions that are commonly used parenthetically are set off by commas. A parenthetical expression is one that is inserted into a sentence, interrupting the flow but not directly dealing with the topic at hand. Here are a few examples. The movie, I believe, is free for anyone who brings a donation of canned food. On the contrary, I am quite happy with my new assignment at work. At the dual meet, Javier won the broad jump and the long jump, naturally. Your use of commas really depends on your intentions within a sentence. In one sentence, you may want the reader to pause with a parenthetical expression. In another sentence, however, you may choose not to set it off with commas. It all depends on the stylistic effect you wish to achieve. Take a look at this pair of sentences. The yearbook layout, I hope, will be finished by the end of the week. I hope the yearbook layout will be finished by the end of the week. Here's another. You are indeed talented. You are indeed talented. Commas are used to separate the day and year within a date, as seen in this example. English novelist Jane Austen was born on December 16, 1775. But when only the month and day are written, no comma is needed. December 16th is Jane Austen's birthday. In writing an address, the city and state are separated by a comma, as seen in this example. Orville and Wilbur Wright ran a bicycle repair shop in Dayton, Ohio. Today, so much casual communication is done electronically with emails and texting that letter and note writing has become nearly obsolete. However, some of the conventions should still apply. In a friendly correspondence, a comma should follow the salutation and the closing, as seen in the following examples. Dear Mildred, sincerely yours. The Greek and Latin etymology of the word comma refers to a piece cut off or a short phrase. This gives you a sense of how commas are used to separate ideas or elements within a sentence. Try to avoid using commas haphazardly. Recognize that they function to make clear, grammatically correct divisions within sentences or to create a particular stylistic effect.